90 years, a life stolen. A life that could have been filled with dreams, aspirations, and moments of joy, instead spent in the shadows of confinement. John Doe. A name lost to history, buried under the weight of time. His identity, once vibrant and full of potential, now just a whisper in the annals of forgotten tales. 90 years stolen from him, spent within the cold, unforgiving walls of a prison cell. Each day blending into the next, a monotonous cycle of despair and hope. The walls, silent witnesses to his suffering, held secrets of countless others who shared his fate. His story, a stark reminder of the human capacity for both darkness and resilience, forces us to confront the passage of time and the ever-evolving tapestry of human existence. Despite the overwhelming darkness, there were moments of light, glimmers of hope that kept him going. His resilience, a testament to the indomitable human spirit, challenges us to reflect on our own lives and the strength we possess. John Doe's journey began in a world vastly different from our own, a world on the cusp of transformation. The world outside changed, evolved, and moved forward while he remained trapped in a time capsule, watching from the confines of his cell. The contrast between the past and the present, a poignant reminder of the relentless march of time and the changes it brings. His story, though buried and almost forgotten, serves as a bridge connecting the past to the present, urging us to remember and learn from the lives that came before us. The year was 1923, a year that stood on the precipice of change, a bridge between the old world and the new. The embers of the Great War had barely cooled. The scars of the conflict were still fresh, etched into the landscapes and the hearts of those who had lived through it. Cities were rebuilding and nations were trying to find their footing in a world forever altered by the devastation. The Roaring Twenties were in full swing, a dizzying mix of jazz, flapper dresses, and the intoxicating promise of a new era. It was a time of exuberance and excess, where the music was lively, the fashion was bold, and the spirit of innovation was palpable. People flocked to speakeasies, danced the Charleston, and reveled in the newfound freedoms that the decade promised. But for John Doe, life was a much simpler affair. He was a man of modest means, living in a small town where the pace of life was slower and the concerns of the big city seemed a world away. His days were filled with routine and hard work, but there was a certain charm in the simplicity of his existence. He lived in a time when horses still shared the road with automobiles, a curious blend of the past and the future. The clatter of hooves and the hum of engines created a unique symphony that defined the era. It was a time of transition, where the old ways were slowly giving way to the new. A time when radio was a novelty, a marvel of modern technology that brought the world into living rooms across the nation. Families would gather around the radio, listening to news, music, and stories that connected them to a broader world. It was a source of entertainment and information, a window to the wider world. And the world moved at a slower, more deliberate pace. People took the time to savor the simple pleasures of life, whether it was a leisurely stroll through the park, a quiet evening on the porch, or a friendly chat with neighbors. There was a sense of community and connection that defined the era. Life was hard, work was scarce, and the future was uncertain. The shadow of the Great Depression loomed on the horizon, and many were struggling to make ends meet. Yet, there was also a sense of resilience and hope, a belief that better days were ahead. People faced their challenges with determination and a sense of solidarity, finding strength in their shared experiences and dreams for a brighter future. One cold December night, John Doe's life took a drastic turn. A robbery gone wrong, a life lost. The details remain shrouded in the mists of time, lost to conflicting accounts and faded memories. Found guilty, John Doe was sentenced to 90 years, a lifetime behind bars. In 1923, such a sentence was not uncommon, a stark reflection of the era's harsh penal system. The world outside the prison walls continued to spin, oblivious to John Doe's plight. The Roaring Twenties gave way to the Great Depression, a period of economic hardship that gripped the nation. World War II erupted, casting a long shadow across the globe. Through it all, John Doe remained confined, his world reduced to the cold, impersonal walls of his cell. He became a ghost, a forgotten soul lost in the machinery of the justice system. The decades that followed witnessed an unprecedented technological revolution. The radio, a marvel in John Doe's youth, became commonplace, bringing news and entertainment into homes across the nation. Television followed, then computers, the internet, and finally, the ubiquitous smartphone. John Doe, however, remained untouched by these advancements, his existence frozen in time. The world he knew had vanished, replaced by a future he could scarcely comprehend. Not only technology but society itself underwent a profound transformation. The civil rights movement challenged deeply ingrained prejudices. The women's liberation movement redefined gender roles, and the LGBTQ+ community fought for recognition and equality. The world John Doe left behind was one of segregation and inequality. The world that awaited him was far from perfect, but it was a world grappling with its past, striving for a more just and equitable future. In 2013, after 9 long decades, John Doe walked free. A frail old man, his body stooped by time and his eyes filled with a mixture of apprehension and wonder. The world that greeted him was a sensory overload, a cacophony of sights and sounds that overwhelmed his senses. The bustling city streets, the towering skyscrapers, the endless stream of cars, all served as a stark reminder of the life he had missed, the world that had continued without him. The challenges John Doe faced upon his release were immense. Simple tasks like using a telephone or crossing a busy street seemed insurmountable. The world was a whirlwind of technology and information, a far cry from the slow, deliberate pace of life he remembered. The food, the clothes, the language itself, all seemed foreign. He was a stranger in a strange land, adrift in a sea of unfamiliar faces and experiences. Despite the overwhelming nature of his situation, John Doe found solace in the kindness of strangers. Social workers helped him adjust to life outside prison walls, providing him with food, shelter, and a connection to the outside world. Their compassion and empathy offered him a glimmer of hope, a reminder that even in this strange new world, humanity and kindness still existed. John Doe's story is a stark reminder of the transformative power of time. It forces us to confront the harsh realities of the criminal justice system, the enduring impact of incarceration, and the importance of rehabilitation and reintegration. His experience serves as a mirror to society, reflecting both how far we've come and how far we still have to go in our pursuit of a more just and equitable world. John Doe's 90 years in prison stand as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. His life, marked by the passage of nearly a century, reflects the profound changes that have swept across our society. From the early days of his incarceration, when the world was a vastly different place, to the present day, his story is a living chronicle of transformation and the relentless march of time. His story, a poignant reminder of the ever-changing nature of our world, challenges us to embrace change, to adapt, and to grow. The cities around him evolved, technology advanced, and societal norms shifted, yet his spirit remained unbroken. This juxtaposition of a static life against a dynamic world highlights the incredible resilience of the human spirit. To learn from the past, to understand the mistakes and triumphs that have shaped our present. The evolution of the justice system, seen through the lens of his experience, offers valuable lessons. It reminds us of the importance of compassion, of the need for reform, and of the enduring quest for a more just society, and to strive for a future where justice and compassion prevail. As we reflect on his journey, we see the broader narrative of human progress and the ongoing struggle for equity and fairness. His life serves as a mirror, reflecting both the advancements and the shortcomings of our society. We are reminded that time waits for no man, that each moment is fleeting, and that the choices we make today will shape the world of tomorrow. The ticking clock is a powerful symbol of the urgency with which we must approach the challenges of our time, and that the tapestry of human history is woven with threads of both darkness and light. The moments of triumph and tragedy, of joy and sorrow, are all interwoven to create the rich, complex fabric of our collective experience. As we look back on the past and forward to the future, we are called to contribute our own threads to this ever-evolving tapestry, to make our mark, and to leave a legacy of hope and resilience for generations to come.